Can you see me? Yeah, I think you can. Okay, well, hi guys. So, what are we doing today? We tore the car apart. And why did I tear the car apart? Because 4 years ago, getting to someplace where I can actually see where you can see me. When I slapped this thing together, right after I bought it, it came in pieces. And I had to put everything together to make it roll. And I slapped the fenders on and stuff on it to get it ready because I had planned to take it down to Matt's in 2020 and run it down the strip. It was going to be see how fast this 1974 basically stock Duster will go. Well, that plan fell through for more than one reason. And now we're going back and redoing things that we skipped when we did that. So, we're putting these on. What are these? These are the splash shields to protect the doors and hinges from water from the road. We didn't put them on the first time. We should have. One of the reasons I didn't is because, one, this one here is broken. And I thought I could find one to replace this. This is plastic. I've never seen a plastic one before. Apparently 74 and later A-bodies had plastic ones instead of steel ones. Who knew? I did. But anyway, I'm going to put this on. That means you got to take the fenders off. Take the fenders off, you got to take the whole front end off. Pull the sheet metal off. So, that's what we're doing. And I started yesterday. Still see me? There we go, get out of the sun. Put you over here, way out of the sun. Okay. So I started yesterday, and I got this far. Now we're going to put this one in, and we're going to do a few other things. Like explain how do you put 235 60-15s in the front of a dart. Not many people know how to do that. So, let's get the fender off. The rest of the way. Get stuff down there. Let's get the camera. Yeah, I glued on okay. This set up over here, behind everything. And get ourselves leveled in. There we go. We're going to take the bolts out of the bottom here and we're going to lift it off. One of the reasons I didn't show you guys taking it all apart the other day is because this is kind of boring. Nobody really cares. Okay. I guess I got the bolt up there after all. That's gonna be fun. I gotta take the tire off. There's a bolt up here. You gotta go up with a long extension from the underneath inside to get. Okay. Now comes the boring part. Watching me take a bolt off. Oh. Enjoy. Silly me, I should have done what's on the ground. Because I don't know what I'm doing, huh? Okay, let's get a universal. There it is. Oh, I can hear our dogs barking. Apparently they heard me. I'm doing bad things out here. Oh. There we go. There we go. Off we go. Okay, let's get this slapped on there. Then we're going to start talking about brakes and stuff. And putting big tires on this car. Now let's get a 7-inch socket. We'll force the bugger on. Sixteenths. The road goes a long ways. And this is transmission fluid, by the way. You got the right ones, don't it? Yes, he did. Oh, great. Oh. We'll pause for a little bit until I find the right nuts. So we'll drill down all these holes so I can use these in there. Now we're going to run a bolt through there and get the self tappers actually working right. The 1974 version snaps self tappers here. Okay. Now, the kid down the block says he owns a 68 Mustang hardtop with a 289. That's kind of cool. He's probably 16, 17 years old. Maybe he'll make something out of it someday. Who knows? I don't think he's very car oriented. Didn't know if he had a 4-speed or automatic. That's okay. You gotta start somewhere. Okay, let's put these in. Okay, they're nice and tight. Ugh. Ugh. Get a little hard on my knees doing this stuff. Let's see if the fender goes on. It should. But you never know. That'll fit in. Cool. Okay, let's talk. And how to put big tires in front of a dart, or basically anything with that size fender type. If you go on to Fabo, raybodiesonly.com. Let me get something to sit on. Old man's got to sit down. Okay. If you go on to Fabo, I think anybody who has an A-body knows what it is. In their suspension and handling section, the resident experts all claim in a 15-inch wheel, you need a 15 by 7 with a 4 1/4 inch back spacing. That's what I bought. This is a 15 by 7, 4 1/4 back spacing. And this will tuck, they say 235/60 into the wheel wells. It really doesn't. There is some work you have to do. You really should go and get a 4 1/2 inch back space. And what you got to worry about that is clearing this right here. And potentially the tie rod in down here. It works. I mean, we can pop this on there and I can show you everything. But you have to modify the fender a little bit. And they don't bother telling you how to do that. So I'll show you what you need to do. Grab our fender. Let's move over here so we have a place to look at it. This fender is off a 1968 Dodge Dart. You can see it was off a GTS version of the Dodge Dart. And it has been modified once by the previous owner of this fender. I don't know who that was. And I don't really care. A 260 by 50, 15, and possibly a 225 60 by 15 will hit this corner here with a 4 1/4 inch back spacing. As you can tell, the previous owner smacked this in with a hammer. It's all rough, it's all bent up here, and I smoothed the back out to do it correctly. Now, what is the correct way of doing this? You may be asking yourselves. Rocks won't hurt anything. The correct way of doing that is cutting this corner off. I cut about it comes out like this square, and I cut it off about a ½ inch in from the corner. This allows the tire to turn. You also have to roll this lip. This allows the tire to go up and down. Otherwise, you hit. You remove this strut bar. It goes to the inner fender well. It'll get in the way. You will hit it. Once you get that all done, you'll have a fender that actually fits the tire. And I'm going to finish this off because I'm going to flatten this down to be flat all the way around instead of slight bevel. I usually start right here with that body line. Right here, I start right here at the top. I start bending it over, end right here at the top, and that gives you enough clearance to clear the tire. Now, how do I know how I do this? The first deem I did in 1978, and I was running 14x7 and 235/60/14s on the front on a 10-inch drum brake car. Now, the drum brakes, as those who are familiar with the Chrysler front suspension knows, is the drum brakes set in an inch and about 3/4 of an inch in from where the disc brakes set. So you got to make up for that some way. That's why you buy an offset rim, and that's what we do. But you have to do the other stuff too. I had to do it back in '78 to make that 235/60/14 fit. I even did it on my '66 Dart to make a 235/60/14 fit on the front of that thing. Roll the lip, cut the bottom, and they fit perfectly. And they look nice on the '66 Dart I had. But that was a long time ago. And there's really not any better way of doing it. So I'm going to take a body hammer, I'm going to flatten that out. I'm going to go to my stump and flatten it out. I don't think I'll take you guys with me because why do you care? You've seen people pound metal before, you don't want to watch me do it. So I'm going to go do that. We'll be back. Ah, there we go. Okay, so we're banged on the fender a little bit, got things more or less where it is. We're not doing body work on the car right now. That's why I'm not going to do a finished job on the fender. It's good enough for right now for what we're doing. Here's the infamous drain hole for the cowl vent on the A-body. These get plugged up, then they get plugged up down here, and they just don't drain, and that's why you get rust out. It's particularly bad on, say, my 65, where I got rust spots going through here, or it's been rusting from the inside. Oh, let's see if we can get some of this crap out of here. Yeah, look at me. There we go. Look right there. And we get this cleaned out. Huh, I need a screwdriver. I got one out here. Yes, I do. Sometimes a welding rod just doesn't work right. Okay. This whole drainage thing here is really bad on these cars. You can tell it's damp in there now and it hasn't rained in a couple days. And about every Duster I know leaks right here on both sides. You gotta go in there and chip the stuff out and put some new filler in there or sealer. There's a leak. This gets filled up, starts rusting, or it goes behind this stuff. Bring a hammer out. Okay, put some of this on. This is Ospo. I use it in a spray thing like that, so I don't have to use a brush. I find this to be the best rust defeater I have found so far. Not a common product. Doesn't have a big advertising budget. But I held my 65 Dart together for 20 years with it. Stopped the rust in that for 20 years, which is really good, but you know, I hung on the car for 25 years. I owned it for 25 years. If I sold it to somebody else, they'd never know. They'd never know and never understand. Okay, that'll take a little while for it to dry. So, back to tires and wheels and tires. There we go. Chrysler 11-inch disc brakes, A-body style. This thing is turning pretty good now. Question is, does this caliper move good? It's all new brake parts, but like I said before, when things sit for 20 years, or how many years this has been sitting, things don't always work like they're supposed to. Not anymore. Move it up and down. Calipers are cleaning up pretty good. Okay, let's get the tire over. Well, this is drying over here. Like I said, this is a 4¼ inch backspace and a 15x7 rim. By all the pundits and people think they know what they're talking about, this should fit on here without a problem. Go. On there nice and tight. So right back here, it's maybe as far back you can go. Got that finger, that finger width. And it's a little bit more than a 1/4 inch. So you could probably put a 1/4 inch more backspace on this and draw it in and get away from the fender. You're still gonna have to do all the stuff I did in the fender before. That's not going away. But maybe a little closer. Might be a little easier. I should ospo the inside that fender. Wouldn't hurt. We'll get it back on tomorrow. That's alright. Okay, till tomorrow. Or the next video, whenever that comes.